Everybody, this is Scott Dudley from Funnel Fella Radio, and today my special guest is Andrei Tiu, who's based in London in the UK. Andrei is the CEO and Chief Marketing Officer of a digital marketing agency called Market You, who drives strong online marketing performance for scaling startups and medium-sized businesses. Welcome to the show, Andrei. Are you ready to rock and roll?
Yes, for sure. Hi, Scott. Thank you for having me on the show. Hello, everybody tuning in. Hope you guys had an amazing day. And yeah, let's crack on. Let's see how and where we go with this.
Excellent. All right. So let's start off with your background and how you first got into digital marketing in the first place.
Yeah, sure. So, well, my story with marketing goes quite a long way back, even if I'm not that old. But I guess I just started very early when I was about 12 or 13 by actually trying to get people to the shows of the band that I was playing within. So I was playing guitar and we formed a band, and obviously we had to get people to listen to our music and come to the shows. So that's where I had sort of an introduction to marketing. Social media was very new at that point. Facebook just launched. So that was about 2009, 10, I think, something like that. So yeah, 9, I think. So from then onwards, I went a bit more in understanding the music PR, events, marketing, and so on. And from then onwards, I went into studying marketing, working in marketing, about, I think, 20 jobs or so. And then ultimately funding the agency, I think around 2016, I think it was, yeah.
So you were working for a lot of different agencies, and then you sort of decided to start up your own business, your own agency.
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of them were summer jobs or part-time jobs, but doing more of them at the same time. Not specifically digital marketing, all of them. Some of them had to do with, email marketing, or specifically, like channel-based, but also in-store promotions and other elements of marketing as well. So I think, it was a very broad spectrum of the student jobs I had, and then early in the career.
Okay, what were you sort of doing in those jobs? Was it mainly the one thing or lots of different stuff?
I would say it was pretty diverse, but I was always, from my family background as well, always involved with the agency life and agency side of marketing. So I knew I liked it. I went into working within an agency as soon as I could. And then ultimately, when I decided to launch our own agency, I kind of knew what we were getting ourselves into.
Yeah, fair enough.
Digital was the thing that attracted me most, I think.
So was that with a partner or just on your own?
No, just myself, one-man band in the beginning.
Excellent, nice. All right, so let's fast forward to the beginning. Fast forward to now, and tell me a little bit about Market You and what services you provide to your clients.
Sure thing. So we specialize in, I would say, probably 360-degree digital marketing. So we do the usual ones like social media and Google Ads and email marketing and, the classic SEO. But also we do specialize in more innovative technologies, to say so. So we do a lot of the new platforms like TikTok advertising and Spotify marketing are two of the more, let's say, unique types of services that we have in our portfolio. And also one of the things that we try to push forward on as much as possible is marketing automation, personalization, and integrating different marketing channels within the broader omni-channel perspective, so that we can help brands better design communications that suit their customers' journey, let's say, with their brand. So, helping clients integrate better the marketing activities of their brand so that they can achieve better integrated results.
Okay. So I've never actually heard of Spotify marketing before. Can you sort of give us a brief rundown of what that involves? Because what Spotify is a music channel, isn't it? Or
yeah, but basically, if you are a Spotify listener or if you use the platform, you know that you have the paid version and the free version. So the free version has ads. And as a brand, you can pay as you do, for example, for Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn. You can also get onto the platform, and you can advertise. It's typically multimedia type of ad is audio first because it's a music platform, and then it's also creative, like you also have the design element into it, so you can actually have ads showing on the streaming platform, like on your phone. When the ad occurs audio, you can also see it video, and then you can insert a call to action. So it's a very good channel it offers a very good penetration into the target market, if the target market is the type of people that would use the freemium version of Spotify. So typically it goes well with students, and younger people in general. So the type of people that are streaming music, but not necessarily are willing to pay for the subscription kind of thing. So food brands do very well here. Music, obviously, events before
Yeah.
COVID. Uh, and it's actually a very good platform, and the price for advertising onto it compared to the results is very good, because it's
Yeah.
not so much inflation at the moment. Everybody goes into Facebook and
Yeah.
Instagram and LinkedIn and pushes budgets there,
Yep.
while as Spotify is more of a not so mainstream platform, to say so.
It'd be more like the Wild West, sort of untapped in some ways. So that's smart.
Yeah, it still is. I mean, not many brands think about it when they do think about their communications planning always. But you guys tuning in, if you are looking for a bit of innovation around how to better or how to best mix channels, I think it's definitely one of the platforms that could be good for you.
Okay.
One mention is that it's not possible to advertise in really every country that Spotify runs as a platform, or more specifically, you can't advertise in every country through their agency platform. So, make sure to check their guidelines depending on the location that you are in.
Yeah.
And then if you have access to their platform, then you can register as an advertiser, get verified, and then you can help your clients. Otherwise, you might have to go directly through a country manager from Spotify or another entity in order to get your clients onto advertising.
Okay. Fascinating. Cool. All right. So, including yourself, how many team members do you have?
So we are 7 at the moment, and if things go well, we'll be 9 in a month or so.
Okay. They all in the UK or sort of based around the world, or?
No, we actually have 2 offices. One of them is in the UK. One of them is in Romania, in
Oh
Bucharest.
yeah. Okay.
So that's where actually most of our team is located.
Yep.
So we had a good growth on the Romanian market over the past 2 years or so. So a lot of our team is there. We are growing the UK branch at the moment as well. So we focused more last year on pushing this side of the business, and the plan is to rock and roll in 2021.
Excellent. Okay. So, who's the ideal customer niche or target market that's sort of the best type of fit for what you're offering?
So we do have really 2 big pillars in terms of niches, let's say. So one of them would be e-commerce, and then here we can spread across a variety of niches, but essentially the e-commerce element of the business is and helping e-commerce brands better use marketing to scale. This is something that we have a lot of experience in, and is something that we focus on a lot. And then we have the B2B lead generation types of services or clients. And in B2B, we do have clients from professional services, but also tech is been very popular, mainly in the UK, SaaS platforms, so software as a service, and these types of businesses. But I would say we work across the board. So we have clients from very different mm, niches, but
Yep.
these are
Yep.
the big 2 ones.
Yeah, I see. All right. So, looking at your site, it looks more like you're sort of into websites rather than funnels, but there must be some sort of funnels that you build, like lead generation funnels. Can you talk a little bit about funnels for the audience?
Yep, sure. So basically, most of the marketing that we do or we help our clients implement is focused around the funnel, because
Okay.
if we were to go back to the basics of marketing, we have one of the very core things that we need to use to design our communications framework is the AIDA model: attention, interest, desire,
Yes.
action. That's already a funnel. So looking at that, we then look with our customers or clients, and we say, okay, what are the objectives of X campaign, what do we want to achieve, and then let's see how everything that we want to do fits within primarily this framework, but also in the larger context. And then looking at that and understanding where in this framework we communicate with our customers, we then map the communications channels, like for example Google Ads or Facebook ads or LinkedIn, etc. Every communication on this channel will fit somewhere within the customer journey. So we need to understand first of all where we communicate in that journey so that we can best adapt the message, and then the call to action, and then make sure that what we do when we integrate is in a sort of a funnel. So it can be, like some of the basic examples would be stuff like offering freebies, like for example reports and stuff like that in the B2B space, so that we can get an email address or get some customer details, and then run remarketing campaigns around specific audiences that are GDPR compliant, etc. So understanding how the customer would evolve with the brand, and then understanding how to best map communications in a form of a channel in order to get a lead to, like a user to being a marketing qualified lead, to then being a sales qualified lead, and then ultimately to convert and to become an ambassador of the brand one way or the other.
Okay, cool. All right. So sort of looking at it from your agency point of view, how are you actually getting customers, and what are your most successful customer acquisition techniques?
Sure. So we do have a couple of things that we include in our own promotion. First of all, we have the branding element, which obviously helps us keep a good positioning in the market. So we do that through our producing quality blog posts and then reports. We just launched our trends report for 2021. We do have a podcast as well, which we invite marketing people onto, and then we discuss different areas of marketing. So really trying to give back to the community around our brand a lot, so that we can help the ones that maybe cannot work with us yet, or just to give a bit more back. And then so that's the sort of branding side of things. And then we also have the lead generation. So we do the classic, like Google Ads and the SEO are two big elements of our marketing activities, and they do work pretty well. But then what we do differently from maybe other agencies is that we want to make it personal as quickly as possible. So after a lead comes through and we see it's a qualified lead, then we take that interaction one-to-one, and we don't automate a lot around, for example, running remarketing campaigns to website visitors, offering them, different things that would get them to offer us their email addresses. Like, we don't do that a lot right now. We are planning to do that a bit more with the marketing report, for example. But at the moment, the way that we generate leads and then clients is we get the interest, like we get the contact details of the people that would be interested in working with us. And then we get that discussion personal, so we can understand whether we are a good match or fit for each other, and then working our way from there.
All right. So what's the name of the podcast, and how many episodes have you done so far?
So the podcast is the Marketing Innovation Podcast Show. I think we have about 30-ish so far.
Nice.
Basically, we launched it in 2018, and then we paused it because of time. And then we decided last year that, hey, actually, let's get this up and running again, because we always wanted to do it again ever since. So right now we try to stick to a schedule with it, and check it out if you're interested.
Have you ever actually signed up a client from a podcast episode, like one of your guests?
Not yet. We discovered good synergies with some of the guests. Many of them being, for example, in the in a niche that maybe we work in more, like for example B2B. They would provide services that we don't, and then we discovered that there will be a complementarity there in terms of the services that we provide. But to answer your question directly, no, not yet. I think it could happen. But it's the drill. Like, it's very fun to do that, to do the podcasts and to record them, and it's also very interesting to get to meet so many people that are leaders in their niches.
Agree 100%. All right, so tell us about one of your most successful marketing campaigns and why you believed it performed so well without naming the client.
Okay, let me think about it. Should it be a funnel-based campaign, or can it be any sort of marketing activity or campaign?
Up to you, but if it's possible to be funnel related, that would be nice. But yeah, whatever you think is the best sort of story that you can provide. Yeah.
Okay, so if we were to think about the best performing one in terms of KPIs and
Yep.
results, there are two. Well, actually, there are about 5 campaigns but they were on 2 channels. One of them was SEO. So just like the SEO strategy that we implemented, that was very successful. So we helped our client quadruple almost their revenue through SEO activities within 7 to 8 months. And that was very good because they were already active on that front. So we weren't starting from scratch.
Okay.
But that was a very good result for last year.
Yeah.
And then another couple of campaigns that we were really impressed with were Facebook ad campaigns. But we saw return on like ROAS, return on advertising spend, over 100, which means that for every dollar invested, we were generating over 100, and that was amazing.
Yeah, that is
So,
amazing. Yes, absolutely.
yeah, for you guys running Facebook ads, this might seem incredible, and it's not something that often happens like this high. But we had a couple of campaigns. These were in the music niche, like music products and albums and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, these performed very well. And then we had another couple of campaigns, and these are a bit like funnel, but because customers wouldn't convert the first time they went onto that landing page that we were driving them to. So here, remarketing campaigns played a big role in,
Right. Yeah.
first of all, establishing the brand in the minds of the people that were seeing the ads, and then getting them to convert. So we had a number of campaigns that had return on advertising spend over 25, I think it was. So I mean, all of them were between 25 and, if I'm not wrong, 40. But these were a series of campaigns that were very well performing last year. Um, but yeah, these would be some examples. Why were they successful? First of all, so let's go to the SEO results that we saw. I think it's very, very important to always remember that SEO has to be done both on-site and off-site.
True.
So if you can optimize your on-site side of things well, and the landing pages are well indexed and they are well performing in themselves, then identifying the right outlets for off-site SEO, and also identifying ways in which you can amplify what you planned to do for offsite. I think, and doing this consistently, so sticking to a good plan, I think this is a very good driver of performance. And to give you an example of what we did in this case that I think helped a lot was in parallel with the SEO campaigns that we had going on, we also implemented an influencer marketing ongoing campaign. So we were managing a number of partnerships with a number of influencers. And one thing that we tried to do that was in line with our SEO strategy was also get them to produce content, like written content for the influencers that had a website, for example, like blog posts that were optimized in line with what we wanted to drive performance in terms of SEO itself. So I think that growing that number of inbound leads and just having good quality content produced all the time off site, that was driving backlinks and references to the product that we wanted to get more visibility from the website. This was e-commerce, by the way. I think this was very helpful for them, and this is something that we try to do consistently. So maybe for you guys having agencies or providing these types of services, I would say always try to think, not necessarily for SEO, but in general, when you implement a cross-channel campaign, try to see, apart from the KPIs that you follow for that specific channel, let's say for Facebook or for SEO or content marketing, what else can maybe be an augmented benefit that could feed into the objectives or KPIs of a campaign parallel and simultaneous maybe that you might run on another channel, and then try to look at it
No.
that way and
Yeah.
see how you may growth hack your way onto success to say so.
Okay, interesting. I like it. Cool. All right. What are your favorite online tools and platforms that you use to run your business?
So we are playing a lot with tech these days. I guess many marketers have the same issue where it's so many opportunities and so many platforms doing so many things that it's very hard to pick the right ones
Mm,
for you as a business, and then maybe to have long-term partnerships so that you can get them to work with your clients as well. Right now, so we have a couple of platforms that we constantly use, like for example, MailChimp is always a good platform for somebody that just starts out in email marketing because it's very well developed. It can become a bit expensive when your database grows or when you want to
yeah.
do more things. But as a starting point, it's probably one of the best platforms out there for email marketing and automation around that. We are looking at the moment into some providers for customer data platforms or omni-channel platforms that help um, integrate all the points that a brand might have with their customers online, like for example data from Facebook with data from Google and email marketing and interactions and so on, and putting it all together and really helping us and them achieve an omni-channel or a single marketing persona, like for a customer, and integrating all these data points in driving the single customer view. So understanding exactly how they interact with the brand online. But for the moment, I wouldn't give a specific name because there are we are still testing with some of the new ones. However, if you guys want to look into a good platform that we are discussing with, and I know the history behind it, and I know there is a good team that is tackling it. The platform is called The Engage, so The Engage, and
Okay.
they are primarily working with banks and big databases in general. But I think that they are doing personally. I think they are doing a good job, and I'm looking forward to see how this will grow next. And then obviously we work with the main platforms like the Google Suite is a very good
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
infrastructure in itself. Then we have the Facebook Business Manager and LinkedIn Business Manager and stuff like that, which all of them are advertising platforms in themselves. But if you do set them up correctly, then you can get a lot of insight from there. Um, and Yeah, I mean, these would probably be the main ones because of the services that we provide. It's really the marketing platforms, which are, to be used to implement the channel specific campaigns. And then we have the reporting and analytics. Typically, we go with the platform native reporting capabilities or integrating everything within Google Analytics and email marketing platforms. And then we do provide web services as well to some of our clients. So there we work with the platforms such as WordPress and Shopify, and hosting platforms like SiteGraph, for example.
Okay, cool. There's a fair few there. All right. What are some of the biggest and most common mistakes that you see your clients making?
Ooh, nice. Okay. First of all,
Where to start?
yeah. No, but I'm trying to think about the sort of reoccurring points in the discussions that we have, and I think that one thing that is maybe often overlooked is tracking what happens online to the best degree. I think that for the businesses that run, for example, Facebook ads or Instagram ads, it's super important to have the pixel and the metrics and the events set up correctly from the
Yeah,
beginning, so that you can you can get a best view of how your performance looks like. But often it happens that they are not set up correctly from the
yes.
beginning, and it's long time until somebody like us comes in and notices that. And when it might not necessarily look so like such a detrimental thing in the beginning, if we were to think that the pixel needs data such as conversion events depending on the niche, but whether that's leads or whether that's add to carts or checkouts initiated and stuff like that. And sorry for getting a bit technical here, but I think it's important.
Yeah.
Basically, the sooner you can accumulate those numbers from the investments that you make in the platform, the better opportunity is going to be for you to actually use the Facebook algorithms that help driving conversions at better prices, or have remarketing campaigns that work very well, or having lookalike audiences that are very well optimized that can actually really work for your business more than just the audiences that you create interest based or by boosting posts. So I think this is one mistake, not tracking everything to the degree that you, and to the using the full capabilities of the systems that a business uses. This applies to Facebook and Google, because there we see some often, well, we see that there are some bits missing. And then the second would be not looking enough at the marketing persona. Like, I think everybody's profiles changed as a result of the pandemic, and I think we all, the businesses in the world, should look again at how the pandemic impacted their customers' behavior.
Yeah.
We are actually due to launch an article on this as well, which will explore this in a bit more depth. But basically, because we as people consume media a bit more differently, we spend a bit more time on other platforms that maybe we didn't before. We are more likely to buy online now than we were a year ago, or maybe not myself or you, but maybe the millennial or post pre-millennial generations, which maybe weren't very used to paying online by card, they now are.
Yes.
People are more used to looking for information online rather than being fed information maybe from the TV. Screen time increased overall. So I think that, and also the people's concerns changed, I think. I mean, people may be more cautious in terms of how they spend their money.
Yeah.
They be more anxious about their jobs. So it's very important, whatever you are promoting and whatever the message is, I think, to try to get into your customer's mind again, but considering what is on his mind now, not a year ago, and then working out from there how to adapt your communications message in order to be able to really build that rapport and having them to pay attention to you and ultimately maybe buying your product. And when you do launch those campaigns, to try to do it as much as possible in an integrated manner. So if you do run Facebook ads and Google ads, or Facebook ads and Instagram ads and LinkedIn ads, different audiences, try to look at all of them together and to make them work not against each other, but together in order to provide a better outcome for your business. Because by doing, I mean, running this exercise is gonna often lead to you either better optimizing each campaign for the audience that you ultimately want to deliver to, or to see better opportunities to drive that extra performance. So as we mentioned before, when we're looking at SEO and influencer marketing, which work together well, this can also happen, for example, for LinkedIn and Google Ads. For example, if you run a LinkedIn campaign that is very well performing and driving traffic to a landing page onto your website, which can be the top of funnel, maybe download something, or consume this content so that you can get them into a remarketing audience. You can run remarketing on LinkedIn, obviously, but why not try to identify those people in Google and run remarketing on Google as well? So these types of campaigns or ideas can come if you pay close attention to more than just the specific campaign that you are running, but to the whole ecosystem.
Yeah, I see.
Mm-hmm.
So with the persona, are you using surveys to do market research and to get a clear sort of picture of who you're actually marketing to, or you don't really bother with surveys?
So research services are not necessarily part, like primary research services are not really part of our portfolio. Typically, our customers handle this in-house, but we do help them in asking the right questions or drawing the right insights from the research that they might want to be carrying out. But this is not necessarily something that we do a lot in terms of running questionnaires or focus groups.
Okay, interesting. All right. What's the biggest challenge that you consistently have to face while running your agency?
I think is this a business question? So I know how to reply
Yes,
to it.
it's a business
Okay.
question. Yeah.
So from a business perspective, I think it's a matter of always, first of all, ensuring that you're always growing and always growing sustainably. So this goes it's a fine balance between knowing what your capacity is, taking care of the team, and trying as much as possible to have them working in a very good I mean, in a very good ecosystem, let's say, so they are not necessarily very stressed or overwhelmed, and keeping motivated and positive, even if
Yeah.
the current world situation can be not very helpful with that. So having this positive mindset around the team and making sure that they like where they work and what they
Yeah.
work on, and then driving new leads so that you can always be on an upscale, but also having the capacity growing at the same time. So this is more like, okay, for example, right now we are recruiting, so we have 3 positions open, and basically it's understanding what's the volume of new business that would be required so that these 3 positions are very well backed, they will be busy, and the agency is growing sustainably. So I think this tends to be a recurring thing, because as we grow, obviously we have new clients coming on board, and then we have new people coming on board, which need to be first of all very well trained, and then
Yeah.
understanding our company ethos and
Yep.
working at a very high standard that we position ourselves as an agency at. So yeah, I think this is a challenge that is always occurring. It's a fun challenge because you can see the fruits of it, but it's something that we as business leaders, I think we should be looking at closely and at all times. So never get this out of our sight.
Yeah, exactly. So when you say you've got 2 offices, is that like literally a physical location where everybody's working together, or it's not remote?
It's not anymore because at the moment, it wasn't very safe for everybody to get into the office. So
Because of the
we
pandemic. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we were working flexibly anyway before as well. So, sometimes from home,
Oh, yeah.
sometimes from,
Yeah.
from the clients, sometimes from different cities that we might have client meetings and stuff with our community. But at the moment, we are not going to the office, and probably will keep things like this for another month, maybe 2, and then we'll be looking at coming back to the office, but partially, like maybe twice or 3 times
Yeah.
per week, so not every day. It's very important, I think, for organizations in general now, since people started to get a bit more used, and traditional organizations as well, trying to get a bit more used to remote working and flexible working, and
Yeah.
giving more autonomy to their employees. I think it's a very good moment where companies can look again at the work-life balance and try to proactively help their employees that maybe are spending a lot of time on commute or were before, achieve a
Mm.
better work-life balance by being a bit more flexible with the way that they work, and obviously having in-person meetings, because they are important for
Yeah.
creating that sense of a team, and for sorting out some things, because it's often easier to do it face to
Yes.
face rather than on Zoom.
Yes.
um, but achieving a better balance there, like you don't always have to be in the office to do a good job, and it might actually be more efficient to not be in the office every day. Depends on the industry, obviously, but talking marketing now.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right. What are you curious about or researching right now regarding digital marketing, sort of with an eye to the future?
Oh yes. So there are a couple of things. It's going to be very interesting to see how up and coming platforms are going to grow in the next period of time. I mean, obviously, because the Western Europe world and the Eastern Europe world, they are very different. So we kind of have the feel from each in terms of what platforms, like for example, TikTok, how quickly it grew in terms of user base, and then how quickly they launched their advertising platforms and things like this, and whether you can use it to the full capacity or not, depending on your geography. This is something that we keep a very close eye on. And it's also then ways in which we can better automate or personalize communications. And again, this might sound vague, so just let me try to give you a bit more context. in the Western world, like let's say in the UK or America, often brands are more used to thinking about marketing in terms of automation, personalization. They might already do some or have done some more advanced marketing activities before, whereas it seems to me that the Eastern world is still catching up a bit. So it's this thing of how to best help businesses adopt digitalization and automation and personalization, all these things, and then helping them design the types of databases maybe that can feed well into these
Okay.
systems.
Yeah.
This is something that I think across the board, every agency should try to help their clients do these things better, in order to just get the game up a bit. So
Yeah.
yeah, this would be some of our main focuses, and then obviously trends are important because this can inform us of opportunities or low hanging fruits that maybe are not so visible in the beginning. Instagram is adding a lot of things on as a platform. So for example, Reels have been a very hot topic lately, and understanding how to best use them maybe in parallel with the TikTok strategy so that you can
Okay.
better amplify the content that you produce as a brand. These are subjects of focus for us as well on the content marketing side of things. So yeah, just keeping ourselves like keeping everybody curious and trying to always be on top of the news.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So just to wrap up, where can people go to find out more about your services and or your products?
Super, that's easy. So we have two websites, but to access the English version, it's marketiu.com. And then if you guys want to chat, I'm on LinkedIn, so I'm pretty active there. Just look for my name. It's Andrei Tiu, and you'll be able to find me. Just connect, and I'll be happy to speak directly there. And then obviously feel free to follow us. We have the podcast, which we try to have weekly episodes on. And then there are some free resources on our website if you are curious about some of the services that we provide and how to maybe implement them into your business or within your service offering. And yeah, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We are there. We are still early on TikTok as an agency, but we'll get there. There are a couple of videos so far.
Okay. Perfect. All right then. Thanks for being on the show, Andrei. I really appreciate your time. Thanks for that.
Same here, Scott. Thanks so much for having me. Hope this was useful and insightful. If I can help with anything else, always feel free to reach out, and I'll be happy to either repeat the experience or help in any way I can.
Excellent. All right then.